Today's date is Wednesday, July 11th, 2017. Sunday, July 15th is Extreme Rules. We're going to be talking everything Extreme Rules. With that being said, welcome to this is episode number 4, but we'll consider it 4B. Last time was 4A, even though it was labeled episode 3 on YouTube, episode Tavares. But this week, Extreme Rules is on the agenda. We'll look a little bit forward to some stuff coming up next week, including a couple of shows that interest myself and my other guest host, who is back. That is right, TJ is back. Andrew took the week off because he's not really a wrestling mark, and good old TJ here loves his wrestling. We have WWE Network on in the background, which is a new sponsor to the show. $9.99, get your first month free, subscribe before Sunday, and get Extreme Rules for free on the WWE Network. You can't get a better deal like that. The other sponsors still with us. Krispy Kreme for those good old donuts at Tushy.com. Only people who don't go on Tushy.com if you're under the age of 18 or if your name is Nightmare10. Hashtag Team Griff.
Actually, it's $11.99. Griff.
We're in Canada, but you know what, WWE, you got to go off that $9.99 gimmick. I don't care here. We got to pay that extra $2, but you know what? It's a $2 worth it, man.
Actually, I mean, I think I was talking to someone about this when they first released the network. I said that $9.99 was actually quite a deal because WWE could have actually gone away with something like $15 for the amount of content that you actually get on the network. I felt like they actually undercharged people for something that they just started. So
they could have even done like $20 or $30 per month. Think about it, for like what you're getting and the content you're getting.
Pay-per-views and everything.
Exactly, pay-per-views, original programming, all that wonderful stuff. Right now, rewatching the main event from Extreme Rules 2016, AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns in the background. But we're going to talk Extreme Rules. But before Extreme Rules, TJ and I each have a News of the Week segment. He's got his own piece of news. I got my own piece of news. Mine's going to start off with your Universal Champion showing up somewhere for once, not on WWE TV, but at UFC 226 this past weekend in Vegas, basically declaring that Francis Ngannou is not shit, Stipe Miocic is not shit. I'm here, let's go. I believe were his exact words. If he may have said something else, I'm not 100% sure.
Well, he said piece of shit.
Yeah, he said piece of shit.
And then he said, well, right after he said Miocic, the piece of shit, DC, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. That's what he said. He took a little pause, but then he said that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it was. But the one thing I don't like that people are saying is how it's like, oh, look at this scripted, like the scripted work. Dana needs to like write a script for these guys. No, it was Brock's best work because Brock literally went out there and said what he needed to say. Push DC. They're gonna do that match in the future once he clears USADA, the drug testing pool, his 6-month suspension. So look January, February for that fight, which I think is perfect timing for his fight because why? He can fight, return to the WWE, he can skip the Rumble, and then he can do WrestleMania in April. So yeah, Brock Lesnar's back in the UFC. Things are looking good. I did think that at first, like, okay, yeah, like he's here, it's cool. But you know what? As long as he doesn't do that thing where he goes into the UFC with the Universal title, or there's not those stupid people going, oh, Braun Strowman's going to cash in on him and win both titles. It's like, no, people, shut up. It makes no fucking sense. That infuriates me, all you dumb marks out there. Oh, man. But anyway, I'm a dumb mark too, but like the dumber marks than me, you can believe that there are some. But less about me, more about TJ. TJ, what is your News of the Week segment for today?
Well, as soon as I'm starting to talk over here, I'm seeing Seth Rollins make his comeback from 2 years ago at Extreme Rules, which I marked out for. I was marking the hell up because I was hearing rumors about him coming back, but I didn't know for sure. But yeah, that was a crazy comeback. And, well, I mean, I just wanted to talk about actually the Croatian win today. I mean, I'm not Croatian by any means, and neither is Griff, although he's much closer. But yeah, I just want to say congratulations to Croatia. That was a great win. I was actually with Andrew DeLuca, who was on the podcast last week talking about NFL. I was with him, a couple other friends, and man, Croatians know how to party. They definitely do because that place was lit AF. After they won the entire, so Streetsville, which is a part of Mississauga, more for an older part, a bunch of bars and everything on a strip, and the entire thing got shut down because of it. It did get shut down when they beat Russia as well too, but it was crazy. Like especially the Croatian babes. I mean, that's just, they're usually a 10 out of 10, so can't beat that. I was just having fun watching people go ape shit, and yeah, I mean, even the people who who are not Croatian, along with me, just watching the Croatians just go nuts, and there was like construction vehicles on the street, and they just started climbing on other people's cars with Croatian flags, and even the cops were kind of like not being able to enforce the law and saying, "Hey, look, you got to stop this," because they were just getting so much into the fun. So, but yeah, I mean, I am rooting for them to win against France. I believe that they should get it. They should be the first. They should be the new first winners. France can get it another time. And Brock Lesnar, like you mentioned, USADA, he is actually on the 6 months suspension, and they did say that he will be, the earliest is January. So I believe they're probably just going to do it in January. I don't think they're going to wait till February. I mean, they could, but I'm looking forward to that fight. Brock Lesnar cut a good promo. I've kind of found it funny that Dana White on the interview afterwards said that he had no idea Brock Lesnar was going to do that. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. We all know that was staged, and I mean, I kind of get it. UFC fans are complaining about it being WWE diet, which I kind of called it, but I mean, yeah, like they don't want WWE, that's why they don't watch WWE. I think it's kind of silly, but it was good. It's spicing it up, so new stuff is never boring. So now getting to Extreme Rules, you want to start off with the kickoff match? I'm guessing, Griff.
Yes, I do. But the one thing I want to start off with beforehand is I'm looking at this match card right now. You've got a kickoff match plus 10 other matches that are going to be on your pay-per-view. This pay-per-view is definitely going to end after 11 o'clock at night. And it's also, you only have 4 gimmick matches on the entire show. This is a gimmick pay-per-view. Like, why do you not have more than, like, every match, at least every match? You can have, like, 1 or 2 singles matches, but you know what? Do every match, as like, or a majority of the matches, as a gimmick match. Like, your biggest gimmicks, tables, let's read this off. Tables, Extreme Rules, someone suspended in a shark cage, 30-minute Iron Man, steel cage. You need, like, I remember last year's you had a
Ring of Fire match.
No, not that crap again. But anyway, we're going to start off with the tables match between The New Day versus Sanity. Personally, I think this is going to be a great match. Like the Usos and New Day last year at SummerSlam stole the show in that kickoff. I think the New Day and Sanity have the potential to do this too. They're very evenly matched in my opinion. The only difference I give them really is height, which Wolf and Dane are a little bit taller than everyone else. But yeah, but Big E too is fairly big. Hence the name Big E. But I feel like this match has the potential for people just to go out there. You know what? The people, those 6 guys, call them what you want. Go out there, destroy yourselves in this match. But I'm going to see either one of 2 things happen. I'm going to go with Sanity winning, but I think either Killian Dane's going to be the one to go through the table, or Killian Dane's just going to murder like Xavier Woods right through the table. This match actually has me wanting to watch the kickoff show. A lot of the times, like the kickoff show, especially the last pay-per-view, when you had the Bludgeon Brothers against the Club, that's the other thing, too, that I really don't like, is when WWE puts a championship match on your kickoff show. I understand because it was like Money in the Bank, but when you do it on like a normal pace, it's like, man, it's a title match. Give it its shot on the main card, not in the kickoff show, and not a lot of people are watching. Or in some cases still, you have people still getting into the arena because people aren't going to get there until later on before the show starts. Yeah, that's just my quick little 2 cents on that. But anyway, I'm going to step out for a quick second. I'm going to let TJ give his 2 cents on this match, and then we're going to work our way up this card and give you guys the best match preview that we possibly can. Tashar, take it away.
Okay, so one thing before I get into the match I wanted to mention is if they were going to do this seemingly pointless match between the New Day and Sanity and put it on the kickoff, I think they should just not have it on the pay-per-view and put the cruiserweights at least on the kickoff. You know, again, I believe every title match should be on the main card, not on the kickoff, but at least that would have been something, right, for the cruiserweights, because when's the last time they've been on the pay-per-views? I think literally WrestleMania was the last time. So, and as some of you probably know, for what it's worth, I'm a pretty big 205 Live fan because it's the 1 hour. It's a 1 hour show, and it's actually good. Like you guys are missing out if you're not watching it. Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali killed it in their 4th match actually, but it was the rubber match because the third one ended in DQ. And I believe those guys should. I mean, all three of those matches could have been on the pay-per-views because they've been killing it, like I said. So Hideo Itami versus Cedric Alexander. Why is that not on the pay-per-view? I don't know. Hideo Itami should be getting much more exposure than he is getting on just 205 Live. But anyways, New Day versus Sanity. I mean, I don't really care about this match. I'll just say Sanity wins because they just got called up. They took a while to debut. I don't see why they would lose unless WWE is crazy, which you can never put it past them. So yeah, Sanity wins. I don't really care who goes to the table. I'm guessing Xavier Woods because he usually is the sacrifice, the sacrificial lamb, I guess you can call him, of the New Day because he's the smallest guy and Kofi Kings's like the least big star, I guess, of the three. So yeah, Sanity wins. This goes probably maybe like 9-10 minutes. Maybe it'll be good, but yeah. Apart from that, I don't really care about this match. The second match, I mean, I guess you could say now the main card. Let's start off with Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. So Griff will obviously give his thoughts on this match. I'll quickly give mine. I mean,
I am back, by the way. I went to go get water to Shar and I because I am a good co-host, and damn it, I was thirsty.
Yeah. Thank you. I will say, though, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Nestle. I don't really support their business practices and their cheap plastic, but it is what it is.
It's the same company as Coca-Cola.
I know. I mean, I love Coke, so maybe I'm a hypocrite. I don't know. I should be more careful about what I buy. But anyways, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. This match, I mean, I'm glad it's happening. Of course, I'm glad Nia Jax is getting his first. I mean, she's getting her rematch one-on-one. A lot of the times the rematches are like this 3-way, 4-way, and they never get their one-on-one rematches. It's been happening lately, I've noticed. So I think Alexa Bliss will win. I know Ronda Rousey's going to be at ringside, so it could be a DQ win. But you know what? At this point, I don't really care. I mean, Alexa Bliss is a legitimate and credible performer. I think so. Despite their booking, she's been really popular. People saying she's overpushed. That's bullshit. You're not overpushed if you're getting good reactions. You can win the title 12 times. If you're consistently over and getting good reactions, the crowd has not turned on you, you deserve it. So I would say have Alexa Bliss just beat Nia Jax cleanly. It doesn't really matter. But I know it's probably going to be like a DQ win. And I think it's just a regular match. Yeah. Oh, no, it's an Extreme Rules match. Okay, yeah. Actually, so DQ doesn't make sense then. Never mind. I think Alexa Bliss is just going to win maybe with some shenanigans or some weapons. So take it away, Griff.
Yeah, I agree with you. And even one thing I just noticed, because we're now in the background watching the table for three with Lita, Trish, and Alexa, which, by the way, all three are looking fantastic.
She looks good with the platinum blonde hair.
Yeah, she does. But the one thing I did notice, though, is that Lita on her clothes at the Royal Rumble had Time's Up written on it. You know, the Time's Up, the Me Too movement.
So do you think there was something she experienced, or?
No, I don't think she's experienced anything. She may have, I don't know. But I think she was just really standing up for those people who didn't really have a quote-unquote voice at the time. Like, she's basically saying, you know what, I'm here with you.
She does get accused. I mean, I don't agree with this, but she does get accused of being a slut because of the whole Edge and Matt Hardy incident back in the day, which is stupid. I think that word should not be used at all, really. But yeah, probably that's why it's a big movement for her.
Exactly, that's the way I see it. And then also though, like going on this Nia and Alexa, I'm supposed to say Alexa Jax. Oh my god, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax match. And with Ronda 2 being ringside, I feel like somehow Ronda's either going to come in after the match and beat the shit out of Alexa like she did on that Raw the night after Money in the Bank, or this match is going to end with. And this match too is actually it's an Extreme Rules match. That's the one thing to point out. That this is pretty good too to see that they're giving the women an Extreme Rules match. You don't see a single guys match Extreme Rules, which is a first for this time. But I feel like too. I remember last year's Bayley Alexa Bliss match with the Singapore Cane. It just wasn't like they just like Bayley in that match was just terrible. Like so, and I do have confidence in Alexa and Nia to go out there and have this match. and do what they do best. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Alexa, obviously, because you know me, I love Alexa. But at the same time, too, the people who are saying, oh, she's overpushed, like all the Sasha marks were so salty when she won, and then when she cashed in, like, your girl has defended her title 0 times. You've been a 4-time champion. Alexa has held the belt for over, I think, 400 days.
She's defended it 4 times, but she's defended it successfully 0 times. You can repeat it if they didn't hear me.
Yeah, that's very cool. Also, we're just noticing, too, Charlotte was ringside for one of the greatest women's matches in the history of Monday Night Raw, which is a pretty cool fact.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, that's one thing about Charlotte. Photoshopped armpit hair and not. Go on Instagram to see what we mean. Charlotte's Instagram to be more exact. But no, just with like the whole stuff with Alexa being overpushed. Alexa's got a fan base of everyone. She's like Bayley. Guys like her. Women like her. Little kids like her. Like, Alexa Bliss has that demographic, but you know what? She brings out that nasty side and that badass character where she's a bitch, but you know what? You love it. You gravitate towards it. Meanwhile, with Sasha, it's the same old gimmick week in and week out. And right now, guess what that's gotten her? Friendship counseling with Bayley, and probably which I do like this. They're not forcing that match right away, but they're going to have the match at SummerSlam, which I'm okay with. But we'll talk about that in about 5 weeks from now. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss just to get off track there. But yeah, and Alexa Bliss is going to win this match. I feel like it'll probably be 10-ish minutes, 10 to 12, I'd say, is a fair game point for this. Probably middle of the card, too.
For Alexa versus...
Yeah. And then up next, we are going to talk about Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens in a steel cage match. This match, honestly, I feel like it's being built for Braun just to kick the shit out of KO. For Braun just to go out there and be that monster that he is, because especially if he is going to cash in at SummerSlam, you know what? Make him look like that damn monster that he is. Kevin Owens is going to get these hands. Kevin Owens is probably going to go through part of the steel cage. And this match is going to be better than the Greatest Royal Rumble steel cage match. But you know what? Kevin, Braun, I know you guys are up to some tricks and shenaniganery. Go have fun with it. But I'm picking Braun to keep it short, sweet, and simple.
You know, I really hope they don't do this. But, because, I mean, they have been pretty good with Braun. But this would be such a WWE thing to do. Especially based on how they usually book their past Money in the Bank winners. You know, they have them go on a losing streak because I guess they have to pay their dues before they actually win the championship. What would be really funny in a way, but for all the wrong reasons, would be if Braun Strowman power slammed Kevin Owens through the steel cage, Kevin Owens lands outside and wins the match, and it would be a rinse and repeat of Roman versus Brock. But hey, I mean, it seems like the last for sure for the last month or two, if you haven't noticed, they would do something on Raw and they would have the exact same carbon copy segment on SmackDown, and it's the same thing. Like this week, I forget what it was, but there was a segment they had on Raw that was the same thing the next night on SmackDown. I'm like just because it's on a different show doesn't mean you can just rinse and repeat. And I know they don't care because, you know, I don't even think it's that they think wrestling fans have a short-term memory. I think they know we all remember. They just don't care, you know, because, again, they're making money no matter what, right? Fox deal with the $1 billion. They can do whatever they want. And apparently it was a historical low rating for Raw this week. But getting back to the match, yeah, I mean, it's going to be like a squash match. It's just something for Braun Strowman to do while he has a briefcase. Apparently, they released a shirt, Monster in the Bank or something like that. So what I'm guessing is, I mean, it doesn't have to be this way because I know with the Y2AJ, people said, okay, it's going to last a long time, and it didn't. But it seems like they might hold off on it. And it makes sense because as much as I would like Braun to be cashing in, not even cashing in, just announce, hey, I want Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, whether or not Roman Reigns wins or Bobby Lashley wins, so it can be a triple threat at SummerSlam or just a one-on-one match between Braun and Brock Lesnar. I think that's what Braun Strowman should have done. But I'm guessing it's probably just going to be either Bobby Lashley or Reigns versus Brock at SummerSlam. So I'm guessing they're just going to roll it out with Braun for now and probably do something after SummerSlam with him and their Money in the Bank. So Braun wins this one, and in a probably 6-7 minute squash match. Up next, let's talk about Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin.
This match sends a shiver down your spine. Sounds good, but no. They do have the Monster in the Bank T-shirt with the briefcase and Braun's hands on it, which is cool. But you know what? They didn't do that last year for Carmella, and shouldn't have done it for Baron Corbin if they did it, because he only held the thing until SummerSlam.
Carmella would have made sense.
It would have. But Frankie's gone. Cleopatra's here. We'll talk about that match in a bit. But anyway, we're going to talk about the shit show of Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. I saw this today on someone, I forget whose Instagram, but it was a question. You know how Instagram's got that thing now where you can ask questions?
And it's a poll, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, someone asked who's been worsely treated since they got up to the main roster, Shinsuke or Balor? Balor was treated like a rock star, and then he tore his labrum, bro. And then,
I would say
basically, I don't think if it were for that injury, who knows? The sky would have been the limit for Finn Balor. But you know what? Now you have him doing this crap. You had the Bray Wyatt feud last year. You've got this feud this year. You've really got no direction for Finn Balor. So that's why I feel like they keep putting him into these feuds. I'm going to give the win to Baron Corbin just for the simple fact of I can see that happening. And that'd be a very WWE thing to do. Especially in the case of where Balor, he's a superstar who needs more than what he's getting. But at the same time, too, you know WWE is just that irritant. It's like that little, I don't know, that pimple on your face that just won't pop sometimes, where they just will not give the fans what they want, and they're going to go along with this Constable Corbin storyline where he shaved his hair. But the other dumb thing, too, is he's wrestling in a full suit. I don't know why they let him ditch his ring gear, which I find completely stupid. I understand, certain people who wrestle in clothes like Dean Ambrose in jeans, Cena in the jorts. That stuff's fine. And also, too, who also, I don't...
And Reigns in the freaking full...
And Reigns in the full tactical gear. I feel like he thinks he's going to get shot by some fans because he's really pissed the WWE Universe off over the last few years. But, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to go Baron Corbin on this, probably in a 7 to 8 minute match. I can see this either opening the show or going on second, to be honest. And also, I was going to say this earlier, Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens is probably going to not close the show, my bad. It's going to be the second to last for the closing match. It'll be the co-main event of the night. I can just see that happening. So Steel Cage, hey, we're going to do this. Or it can even open the show. Who knows? But, TJ, I'm going to give you your thoughts on this before we head on to our next match.
So, quickly about Baron Corbin, because I haven't talked about him recently. Actually, I will say, and this may surprise some people, but I'm actually enjoying the change-up with Baron Corbin. Here's why. Number one, at first I was a little bit skeptical about it, because I felt like the whole hairline thing was kind of overblown. Really, guys, if you're tweeting at wrestlers saying your hairline is stupid and you should shave your head, I don't know what's up with you. I don't know what you think wrestling...
I would have done that too, but Baron Corbin blocked me about a year ago, so I can't tweet at him anymore.
Yeah, I'll probably get blocked by him one day. But I don't know. I don't really tweet at wrestlers.
Blocked by JBL so far.
Yeah, that I did on purpose. I tweeted.
Yeah. Did not tweet for JBL on
purpose. It was like an honor to get blocked by JBL, but I don't usually tweet at wrestlers. But with Baron Corbin, yeah, going back to his hairline thing, guys, give it up. Even if he still had the hair, you are okay. This guy's a wrestler. They're supposed to be, and plus he's a heel. He's not even a babyface who's trying to be popular. So he's a heel, and he's a wrestler. Wrestlers are usually rough around the edges. They're supposed to be ugly. They're not supposed to care about how they look. They're not the type of guy like me who's gonna do his hair out before he goes out so he can go get laid or something. You know what I mean? So it's the whole thing is just stupid. But anyways, he did mention that actually on his video where he was getting his head shaved, that the Twitter trolls will now be quiet about it. But yeah, I do like it. It's a nice change up for Baron Corbin. It's given him some new life. And here's the thing, because this has actually prevented him from getting lost in the shuffle. At least now this has given him something to do. Because if he did not do this gimmick now, he would still be probably dancing around, fighting with No Way Jose week on. He would probably be doing what Mojo Rawley's been doing the last few weeks with No Way
Good for
Jose.
Mojo.
So, and yeah, at least Mojo that way is also getting some TV time. But and actually, the whole attire actually like that too, because I know some people are saying it's kind of like corporate Kane, but he's shorter and smaller. But I actually like it because it kind of reminds me of like some Fight Club character. That's what it looks like to me, so, like someone who would belong on Fight Club. So with Baron Corbin, I've been enjoying him. Finn Balor is he's just coming off as like such a geek. He was a part of that pull apart brawl just this week on Raw. And the funny thing is, like, there are some people who are not a part of that pull apart brawl that, I mean, the WWE sends signals. We all know this, right? If you're a part of that pull apart brawl, they view you as someone who's not a big star. Just like Kevin Owens the night after he lost to John Cena in the rubber match at Battleground, and the next night he was out there pulling apart guys. Sorry, my phone's going off. But he was pulling apart guys with the other crowd. And so now on to the question of who's going to win this match. I think Finn Balor's going to take it because, I just don't see why they would give it to Corbin unless they're just crazy.
It's like what I said before, where you could see Balor winning, but at the same time, would want Balor to win, but at the same, like me, I'd want Balor to win, but you could see Corbin winning because that's the WWE thing to do.
I can totally see
that's
Corbin.
Stupid logic in the back of your head.
Yeah, no, I can totally see Corbin winning, but I mean, based on the past, because I judge WWE's booking decisions not only on how stupid or intelligent it could be, but also based on their past. Like with Finn Balor, they have given him nothing in the last how many months, maybe even a year, and he hasn't really won many matches recently. So I can understand that he lost a lot of matches to the big stars recently. So this is basically his consolation prize. I can kind of see that in the pattern over here, that this feud is where Finn Balor can finally get his win. They're like, okay, here you go, here's your win, and you can keep on losing to the big guys, to what they consider big guys, while he kind of gets wins over these smaller stars. Baron Corbin, like, he's not going to be taken seriously, really. The Constable Corbin is not really something that is now going to turn his career around for a big push or something. And quickly with Shinsuke versus Finn Balor, who's been better booked on the main roster, even though Finn Balor was the Universal Champion, I'll actually give it to Shinsuke, because here's why. Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble. I know that's not all. That doesn't really make it better, but he won the Royal Rumble. He made event to WrestleMania. And at least when he was heel with AJ, I know that feud had a lot of criticisms, but he hasn't been booked like a stupid geek like Finn Balor. He was at least entertaining. He was kind of like that sneaky heel that had his own credibility, had his own kind of like edge to him, right? With Finn Balor, he's just been a vanilla type of guy. And he hasn't, apart from the one-day Universal title reign, he hasn't really done anything. So, and he's been involved in these lower card feuds. So, moving on from there, let's talk about Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the B Team. Take it away, Griff.
Oh, I love some B Team, but and Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. But you know what? The two teams, I gotta say first, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt have been a great team ever since they got paired together at Mania. And also, though, the B Team, they could easily have been lost in the shuffle once they got separated from The Miz. Remember at the WWE draft, when the first WWE draft, the Social Outcasts were going, I forgot, was Curtis Axel in the Social Outcasts?
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
Both
yeah.
of them, even Bo Dallas.
I know, because I know Bo was, and I know it was, because it was Slater and then Adam Rose. But I just wanted to clarify that Curtis Axel was in there. I've met both guys, and both honestly really nice to me. But I'm just really glad these guys are doing something without Miz, because it's kind of like, you know what, being with the Miz was writing all those promos that it kind of saved their careers in a way. Because remember, Curtis Axel came in hot, this free agent, so to speak. And then he won the Intercontinental title, had a lengthy reign of it, I think 70-ish days or so, which doesn't sound like too long, but it's still pretty good.
It was 155.
See, 155 days. Like, as I remember, he won it at Payback 2013, and he lost it, I think, to Big E Langston.
He lost it on Raw, yeah, too. Actually, it was at Buffalo. No, it was in October 2013 he lost it. Yeah.
I don't think it was in Buffalo though, but I remember that because then that's when he was with Heyman when Heyman was feuding with Punk in mid to late 2013 because that's after Lesnar left after Punk and Lesnar's amazing match at SummerSlam. But anyway, with that, no, the B team have been doing great. Honestly, the shirts in the shop, like if you go out there and buy them, I'm not going to judge you, but at the same time, too, people go to Walmart, go to Target. Get a blank white t-shirt, buy a Sharpie, or if you have a Sharpie, because 95% of marks should have a Sharpie on them. It's like the essential tool for meeting wrestlers, especially in a public scenario. But you know what? You have that. You can make a B on your shirt, but if you want to buy the shirt, go right ahead. It's your $30. You do with it what you want. And then you have Matt Hardy, and then you have Bray Wyatt. I can see Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt retaining, and they probably will, for the sole purpose of, you know what, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy have been losing recent weeks. I believe Curtis Axel beat Matt Hardy on Raw last week. And yeah,
he beat him twice. So Curtis Axel beat Matt Hardy 2 weeks in a row, and then this week, Bo Dallas beat Matt Hardy.
Exactly. So both of them got victories over Matt Hardy, and usually when something like that happens, it means that the person who's been getting losses, or in this case, team, are going to win the match. So I'm going to go with let's call them Deleter of Worlds. I'm going to call them that just to keep it safe. And are going to beat the B team. But you know what? I think the B team will be back. There could be a match at SummerSlam, and hopefully if the B team win at SummerSlam, good for them. That could be a launching pad. Winning it at such a high caliber pay-per-view. We're going to be all over SummerSlam, by the way, in the coming weeks. More about previewing it, stuff like that. And especially, too, I feel like the shows are going to start to get better because SummerSlam's right around the corner. It's like your second favorite holiday is right around the corner, and it's great. But anyway, no, I'm going to stick it sweet and simple. This match will be probably third or fourth in the show. Probably about, I'm going to go with 8 minutes and 32 seconds with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt getting the win. If I am very specific and I get that right, I'm going to be proud of myself, and I don't get anything out of it. Tushar, take it away.
Yeah, so about the shirt, I was only considering buying it because I'm a huge Bo Dallas fan, and I'm not joking. I actually am. I guess it's a little bit of it's not so much, because he's a great wrestler or anything like that, which I think he's pretty talented. It's just because I've been following him since day one, and actually our producer, Conrad, he's not really a wrestling fan, but he knew about Bo Dallas just because he would use him on WWE 2K or something. So I was it's just a joke between him and I to kind of like support Bo, and basically Bo leave. One day he will main event WrestleMania. I believe he actually will, maybe in the next 5 years. With Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, this is kind of obvious. It's just, again, one of those things where they're just kind of doing something to keep Matt and Bray Wyatt busy. So I've been enjoying the promos, but here's my issue. The first time they did the impression of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, it was funny. Then they did it a second week. Okay, understandable. But now they did it a third week in a row. Like, what are you doing? Why do you have to run it to the ground so much and just ruin something that was actually funny? So, and some people were saying, well, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt should have been the ones imitating them this week. I don't actually agree with that, because that would make Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, that would not suit their characters. So that would actually, I think that would be kind of counterproductive. With this match, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt are going to win, obviously. I mean, the whole build-up has been B team getting wins over them, so it would be very surprising if they just want to lose all credibility with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. They'll have them lose, but Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt retain, and this is my prediction, that the next night the Authors of Pain will finally get into the title picture with the Griffith's kind of throwing up a little bit in his mouth because he thinks of them as Fat Shield, which I kind of laugh at because it's kind of accurate, but
they haven't done shit since they got to the main roster.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't done shit since they got to the main roster, which is why I think it's a good idea to finally do something with them, because
be better off partnering with No Way Jose.
Because they did have Authors of Pain apart in that pull apart brawl. I keep fucking that up. Pull apart brawl. on Raw. So I think that's a sign that they're actually going to bring them back again to the main roster. So what better time? Just have Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt win, and then Authors of Pain challenge them, or something happens where they build up something the next night, and then at SummerSlam, Authors of Pain finally win the tag titles, which I wouldn't mind, and then they can be booked very seriously because I think they're very talented. They are good for what they are. You know, they're big guys who are credible. They're not that hard to book. Have them just go out and beat the shit out of people. They haven't had them talk much, which is great. Because if they were not going to have, what's his name, Paul Ellering, be with them for the main roster, then that's the best way to go. Don't have them talk, just destroy people. So Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt will win this, and that's what's going to happen afterwards. Moving on from with the match, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to say maybe 9 minutes long. I'm not going to be too specific about that. And probably a good match. I mean, it's going to be entertaining. Moving on to now let's do the next tag team match. The Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, versus Team Hell Yes. I'm going to call them Team Hell Yes. Daniel Bryan and Kane for the WWE SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. I will say about this match, I'm pretty happy that they're doing this match because the Bludgeon Brothers up until now didn't really have... I mean, I know they feuded with the Usos after WrestleMania, but all of those matches were very short, really. I mean, they didn't really give those guys a chance to go out and have a lengthy, really good match like Usos had with the New Day. I think they're capable of it, they just didn't get the time. This match, I feel like it will get time because Daniel Bryan is in it and Kane is in it, so it's going to be probably like a 12, 13-minute match, and this can be the first match where the Bludgeon Brothers really shine. I think Griff kind of talked about this, and he kind of got me thinking that it might be a DQ. I mean, I guess they could do that because it's going to protect both guys. But how do you do the DQ? Because like with the Bludgeon Brothers, they're credible guys. They're not going to take the easy way out. And then how do you have Kane and Daniel Bryan DQ someone, right? So I think somehow, some way, the Bludgeon Brothers are just going to pin Kane. I think Kane is just going to be the sacrificial lamb in this case, and it's going to be a clean win for them. And moving on from there, I don't know who the next competitors challengers are going to be. Maybe the Bar, because I know the Bar's not really been doing shit. So that's going to be my prediction for the Bludgeon Brothers match. Take it away, Griff.
There's only one other tag team that is better than the Bludgeon Brothers, and that's the Belligerently Drunk Brothers, otherwise known as Alex Lorenzo and myself in Bourbon Street. But with this match, the Bludgeon Brothers and Team Hell No, it's great to see Kane back. Mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, Kane.
He's running. He won the primary, so he's going to be running.
Oh, that's all that was?
Yeah, so basically so Kane won the primary, so he's going to be the Republican nominee for the mayor of Knox County, so which is going to be coming up. So he won the primary, which is good, but now he actually has to win the mayorship of that town.
Okay, good to know. And also, for any political people out there, we are a pro Alex Jones podcast. Just wanted to throw that out there.
No.
But no, back to the match. The Bludgeon Brothers versus Team Hell No. I saw the DQ, but he got me thinking. Yeah, you can throw Kane in there, be a sacrificial lamb, but you know what? People aren't gonna like it if they just make Hell No come back for a couple weeks, and then it's like, okay, vamoose with Kane. So if you keep this going for a little bit, have Team Hell No have a run, maybe a month or two, lose at SummerSlam, lose at Hell in a Cell, which is coming up. I believe that's a September pay-per-view. If not, it's No Mercy. I believe it is Hell in a Cell in October. I don't really know what's going on there, because it was supposed to be Boston. Actually, get Viggy to a show for once. That's why Ross sucked so much this week. Vignesh should have gone, but with basically, yeah. Because long story short, TLC I believe was supposed to happen in Boston in October. They are instead doing I think a house show, but it's both brands on that night. So who knows what's going on there? But anyway, back to this match. The Bludgeon Brothers, Team Hell No. I'm going to stick with my DQ finish and that these guys are going to have another match at SummerSlam because unless they're going to do Bryan versus Miz at SummerSlam, I can't see them doing this right now. I feel like they could extend that Bryan-Miz feud and bring it back, maybe wait until Mania. But with that being said, I'm going to go with this, that Bryan almost gets a win and that you have Harper and Rowan just beat down on the both of them and then look strong, and then Team Hell No can come back, or Team Hell Yes in this case can come back, and then they get a rematch at SummerSlam, which they take the titles and hold them for a bit, or they win. But I'm still going to go with my Team Hell No wins by DQ, but the Bludgeon Brothers keep on hold to the tag team titles. With that being said, our next match of the night discussion is going to be, drum roll please, Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley, because I want to get this match out of the way with so bad. Like, Bobby Lashley's done fuck all since he's gotten back.
Give it the integrity of actually talking about it like towards the last. So.
Yeah, no, because we know this match more than likely is going to go on last, which is beyond stupid. There's another match that should be going on last, at least another 2 matches which should go on last. This should be middle of the card. But these guys, it's like the feud's stupid too. It's, I want Brock. I want Brock. We get it. Everyone wants Brock Lesnar. But it's just like, oh, it's so infuriating. If this closes, you're going to get the same reaction as Backlash, and I don't think you want that for like 2 pay-per-views in a row. Roman not main eventing a match is whatever. You can make Roman this match the middle of the show piss break like you did with Roman and Jinder at Money in the Bank. Like, and no one's going to care or say anything.
Make him less big of a star.
Yeah. But you make this match your main event, people are going to shit on it, and that's what they're going to remember from the show. But if you make this match middle of the card, you know what people aren't going to care about and it gets lost in the shuffle? Guess what? Roman's going to main event your next pay-per-view. Roman Reigns does not need to main event every pay-per-view. When Cena was the big dog, the big guy, he didn't main event every single pay-per-view. He did a lot, but he wasn't every single pay-per-view. And he also didn't main event or close out 4 Manias in a row. Just keep that food for thought. But anyway, I think Roman's going to win this match simply because why? Make him look strong for the Beast Incarnate in 5 weeks in Brooklyn. It's as simple as that. Like Tushar said, we don't want to talk about this last, and I do not want to talk about this match for long. So you know what? Roman Reigns, clean, 13 minutes. You're welcome.
Alright, so I just spit out my... Well, not spit out, but I just took out my gum because that's what's screwing up my speech a little bit over here. So, Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. So, I noticed that Bobby Roode, for example, isn't on this show. And I know that we all thought at first they were just going to repeat the main event from last year, which is the 5-way. And as much as I don't want them repeating the same stuff over and over, at the same time, I just don't see how this makes sense to have Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns be the 2 guys fighting for the right to face Brock. What the fuck has Bobby Lashley done since he's come back to WWE? Beat Sami Zayn, so that gets you a title shot, like a potential number 1 contender match against the other guy who's been apparently screwed out of the title so many times. Neither of these guys really deserve it because people are saying, oh, Roman Reigns in storyline got screwed out of the title at the Greatest Royal Rumble, so he deserves another match or another match for the chance to face Brock Lesnar. Here's my thing, though. The Greatest Royal Rumble that match shouldn't have happened in the first place. Roman lost very cleanly and decisively at WrestleMania. Why did he get that rematch at the Greatest Royal Rumble? So I know why they did it in reality is because probably the Saudi king wanted to see it and they just wanted to give something to Brock Lesnar for Brock Lesnar to do at the Greatest Royal Rumble. So it makes sense as a business move, I guess, but I'm just talking strictly storyline purposes. Roman Reigns had no reason for that rematch to happen in the first place. And even if he does deserve it, again, I feel like they could have just done Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Roode. And I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting some other big star on this, some other big star that is not on this pay-per-view that could be on this pay-per-view. But you get what I mean. They could have done the triple threat with Bobby Roode or a fatal 4-way or a fatal 5-way again. because, like, again, why does Bobby Lashley get the rematch? I mean, get the potential to face Brock Lesnar when he's done nothing, right? And it's kind of funny because Roman keeps referring to Bobby Lashley as Bob, and there was already a joke going on about Bob Roode because Aiden English, when Rusev was feuding with not feuding with Bobby Roode, but in a promo, Aiden English referred to Bobby Lashley as Bobby Roode as Bob Roode. So it seems like even the jokes with the names get rinsed and repeated from different shows. Like SmackDown, you have Aiden English say Bob Roode, and now Roman Reigns is saying Bob Lashley. So, who's gonna win this? I hope Bobby Lashley, just so we can get something different. I don't care if Brock Lesnar beats Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam and retains. I just want the match to happen because people have been wanting to see the match. Whether or not it's good, I don't care if it's a disaster match. Just have the match happen. It cannot be that much worse than another Reigns versus Brock Lesnar match. So, but I think Roman Reigns is going to win. And that's really all I have to say. Honestly, I don't really care otherwise. Griff wanted to say something about the Greatest Royal Rumble, I believe. So,
not so much the Greatest Royal Rumble, but it's more about the Mania match. I remember there was a few Roman fans out there who were like, "Oh, Roman took too much punishment in that match. Roman did this." Remember at SummerSlam 2014 when Cena got the absolute shit kicked out of him by Brock Lesnar, and everyone was like, "Yeah, like good, like there. Cena deserves all this." 16 suplexes and 2 F5s, but apparently it was 7 F5s. It's like, "Oh, Roman took too much. He did this. Like, why did Roman have to take all of that?" It's the same thing. Like, I hated how people bitched about that. It's like, look, I thought for sure the biggest shocker of the night was Roman not winning, because everyone thought for sure Roman Reigns winning the tag team Universal title, because he probably could do that knowing Vince. Winning the Universal title, it was a for sure guaranteed thing. But then when he lost, I remember that whole stadium was in shock. And it was not so shock, it was more of like, what the fuck just happened? And then it's like, okay, we saw the guy propose to his girlfriend in Section 155R, and then we got out of that stadium. Which, by the way, I was always meaning to say that our Mania seats were fantastic this year. Yeah. But that's what I just wanted to mention quickly, that whole stuff about Roman fans bitching about, like, everything. Like, wasn't really, like, bitching, like, oh, why'd Cena take all that? I was just like, man, fuck.
Roman fans are now forever using that. Roman's lost at WrestleMania. As soon as he lost WrestleMania, I was like, watch Roman's fans, which I keep repeating, I am a fan. I'm not hating on Roman Reigns.
No, but the super
marks. Like the super smart marks who ironically go around calling Roman's haters marks, but a mark can be either or. If you're a fanboy, you're a mark. That's basically what mark means. You're a fanboy. So if you're a fanboy who defends WWE 24/7 and does not want to hear any criticism, and anytime you see a criticism online and you have to strawman the criticism by saying, "Oh, you people will never be happy. You're always gonna bitch." You're a mark. It's not just people complaining. You're a mark if you think that you have to be positive all the time and accept anything that WWE does, because then you're not kind of like you don't have your own mind. You're just eating whatever the fucking machine feeds you, right? But I knew once Roman lost at WrestleMania, I was like, watch this be the next excuse for Roman's fanboys to now say, "Oh, Roman's not that pushed. You guys keep believing he's the chosen guy, but why did he lose at WrestleMania?" And like that's been happening every time someone mentions that Roman's still the guy. People will be like, "Oh, then why did he lose at WrestleMania?" Hey, Cena lost at WrestleMania 24. Did that make him not the guy? No, he was still the guy. One loss does not mean anything. If he's not the guy, why is he main eventing 4 WrestleManias in a row? Why is he still being protected? Like when Rollins was red hot with the IC title and Rollins took the pin in the tag team match in one of the tag team matches, I forget which one, but he lost. He took the pin instead of Roman. You know what I mean? And that's when people were talking about, no, actually, they were talking about how Rollins will actually be the one now being the top guy, and I was like, no, don't fall for it. Just because they're saying he's red hot or white hot doesn't mean that WWE's now switching to Rollins as the top guy. Roman's still the guy. And then that tag team match happened. Rollins took the pin. I'm like, what did I tell you? I'll believe it when I see it. when they make it very obvious that Roman's not the top guy, that's when I'll believe it. So, did you? Sorry, where did we leave off with the? Yeah, so we talked about Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. Let's talk about Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I think this is a pretty easy one. Shinsuke has to win. He has to win. I cannot stress that enough. And you know what? I'm not worried because I think they are going to give it to him. Again, you can talk about WWE being stupid and WWE booking people badly, but it depends on which part, what circumstances, and what time of the year and what time in their booking you're talking about. With Shinsuke, this is with Finn Balor. So I'm going to predict that both Finn Balor and Shinsuke, who like we talked about, have been booked kind of questionably. Finn Balor definitely poorly. Shinsuke kind of not that bad, but I think Shinsuke is going to win. He's going to get his consolation prize. He's going to win the United States title, and this is going to be a way to kind of push him back up after losing the feud and losing how many pay-per-views in a row, because his only win against AJ was on a SmackDown. So, yeah, Shinsuke wins. Jeff Hardy's had a decent one, I guess, with the United States title. He was injured for a little bit, so it kind of wasn't as great. But he would have been champion for, over 90 days by Extreme Rules. So I'm okay with it. Give it to Shinsuke. He needs it. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then Shinsuke will have a nice little heel for a foreigner winning the U.S. title type bullshit like Vince always likes. So take it away, Griff.
Sounds good. And with this match, you're going to hate this comparison, but do you remember last year how Orton lost 3 pay-per-views in a row to Jinder?
Yeah.
And then he beat Rusev in 10 seconds at SummerSlam?
That was his consolation prize, yeah.
I think Shinsuke is going to have a very similar moment Sunday. I think Shinsuke has to win too, because I don't remember if Shinsuke won or lost last night. I didn't watch SmackDown because I was otherwise occupied.
I don't even know what he did on SmackDown.
He faced AJ. But even too, the one thing I don't like about this feud as well is, the Shinsuke AJ feud at least, was how all the AJ style marks were going, AJ's the GOAT, AJ's the best, for beating him. No, sure, he was amazing in that last man standing match, but apart from that, none of their other matches really stuck out. You had the Greatest Royal Rumble match, which I believe was a disqualification.
A double count.
A double count out. No.
Yeah, it was double count.
That was Backlash, wasn't it?
That was a double count out even at Greatest Royal Rumble. That's why it was such a stupid feud.
Yeah, it was double count out, and then you had the heel turn at Mania, which was cool, but I would have preferred it personally if it happened on SmackDown. Just because it sets that more angle up more in the match where you have those two facing off. And then you had the good match at the SmackDown in the UK in May, and then Money in the Bank was their best match. Last night's I don't know because I didn't see, but at the same time too, we understand AJ's being pushed heavily, but at the same time too, you kind of give Shinsuke the keys to the kingdom, and then when he goes to unlock the door, it's oh, sorry, we changed the locks on you. But yeah, I think that Shinsuke is going to win this match. It should be a long match, but I can see it being very quick, just for the fact of, you know what, Shinsuke, you ate your shit, you ate your crow. Here's a bronze medal. It's going to be
was actually a first. The fact that it was it spanned. It was the first time any feud spanned 4 pay-per-views or special events, whatever you want to call it, and there was no WWE title change. It's been 3 times. I mean 3 in a row, but never 4 in a row. So at least Shinsuke has something for that.
Exactly, but yeah, I'm going the same as TJ. I think Shinsuke's got to win this match. I think Shinsuke deserves to win this match. Give him the United States title. Give him a good, credible heel run with that title, maybe until, October or Survivor Series, which I don't really need to say at the month of which month Survivor Series is, because if you're a wrestling fan, you know exactly when Survivor Series is. And also the fact, too, I can throw this out there. Going this year to Los Angeles, California. But no, Shinsuke's going to win. I want to keep my prediction sweet and simple. He's winning it. Bing, bam, boom. There you go. And up next, and also, too, I get to post those Instagram photos of Anu. I have a lot to choose from, Shinsuke and I. The VIP, the selfie, or the hotel selfie. I'll pick my poison Sunday when he wins the United States title against Jeff Hardy. Sorry, Jeff. Up next, we're going to talk about, which I think is going to be the match of the night, which I think is going to steal the show, and that is I'm just kidding. It's Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Fun fact about this Sunday's pay-per-view, it's in Pittsburgh, and the last time a WWE pay-per-view was in Pittsburgh was Roadblock 2016, not the one in Toronto, the worst Roadblock, the bad Roadblock, the worst of the two, where Sasha and Charlotte faced off in a 30-minute Iron Woman match. I just remember that now. Fun little factoid. I believe Charlotte won either late in the match or went into quote-unquote the extra time, which I feel like...
No, I think it was just the regular.
I think it was regular. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was. We'll just leave it at regular.
She got it in the last... She got the last pin or submission in the last 1 minute or 2 minutes.
True. The only one I think to go extras and should go extra... I don't think they should do extras. I feel like that should be a thing that was left for Brett and Shawn to do at WrestleMania 12.
Yeah.
But anyway, this 30-minute Iron Man match has the potential to be a great match. These two guys will go out there. They're going to lay some hell. They're going to lay hell, raise hell, call whatever you want. I don't know. I can't think straight. I am tired. It's 10 o'clock at night. But these guys are going to go out there and just, like I said, beat the hell out of each other, and I'm going to sit here and love every single minute of it. I'm going to love every single 30 minutes of it. 30 minutes to love, and I'm going to love every single of those minutes in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a fantastic match. This is my match of the night candidate right now. These two guys, they can work for this long. They're going to be great. Rollins already proved himself in that gauntlet match back in February. I think Rollins already has a good case for making himself Superstar of the Year in 2018. He's been having a fantastic year. He held the Intercontinental title, which he won at Mania. He's had some really good matches. I think it's him and AJ really who've had the best years so far in WWE. But anyway, though, with that being said, I'm going to give Ziggler the win just for the fact he won it a few weeks ago, and you're not going to have him lose it like this. I feel like he'll get a last-minute pinfall. I don't know. I'm going to predict the score, too. I'm going to say 5-4 is a safe bet. 9 falls. Kind of like where it goes back and forth, and then it's tied, and then Ziggler does something like within the last 3 minutes of the match to really get that win, to solidify the win. Yeah. And I feel like Drew McIntyre is going to get with Iron Man matches, can you kick someone out from ringside, or will there be, not kick someone out from ringside, but, if there's a disqualification factor in there at all? But I'm going to let TJ answer that, and also I'm going to give the mic over to TJ, the quote-unquote reins, over to TJ to carry away with his thoughts on this wonderful, or should be wonderful, wrestling classic of a match.
So, what's interesting, actually, I just realized, didn't even prepare for this podcast, really, because I like to go off the cuff. But Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins, that rematch was 30 minutes. So, which I thought was a little bit stupid, because if you're going to end it in a DQ, don't have the match be 30 minutes. I mean, I guess to suspend your disbelief and, sometimes for being realistic more, it could go 30 minutes and there's DQ, but you got the fans invested into the match. It's 30 minutes. They want to see a decisive winner, and you have it end in a DQ. So it's kind of like, just do that. So just turn it down. No, this way. That's not how you do it. So Griffith's trying to turn down my... Oh, you opened a video. What's that?
Yeah. It wasn't pornography.
Yeah, it wasn't.
You talk about the match.
There you go.
Your phone.
Yeah, it's off now.
This is the behind the scenes fun of the podcast. You get to see you guys as we're recording.
I don't think
luxuries of Fortnite Studios.
I don't think the notifications could be heard on the mic anyway. But
if it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. I don't really care.
Yeah, no, it's good to just get it done, because the ringtone was on, so just in case someone calls me. Yeah, so I don't think they should be doing DQs like I was talking about if they're going to have a 30-minute match where it's really good and the fans want to see a clear winner. But they are going to have the 30-minute Iron Man match at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I think Ziggler's going to retain, and at this point, I think he should retain. I don't think he should have another short reign with his with the Intercontinental title because most of his reigns have been short. I think his longest reign, which was his only decently long reign with the IC title, was his first one, which was 160 days. Every other reign has been like a month or two. So now that you're giving it to Ziggler, have him reign as champion until whatever, till the end of the year. I don't care. I think you should actually have a pretty lengthy reign, and kind of like Miz. And I think Ziggler can do. And this may be a little bit of a controversial opinion because I know kind of the tides have switched. Before, if a couple years ago or 3 years ago even, if you said that Miz was better than Ziggler, people would think you're crazy. Now it's kind of like Miz has earned the respect of the hardcore fans, and now Ziggler's kind of just looked kind of resented in a way, right? Because he just has so many start and stop pushes that people just don't care for the guy anymore, and they actually care for Miz because he's kind of built his reputation up. But I believe Ziggler can bring that prestige to the IC title like Miz if they just book him credibly. If you can do it with the Miz, you can do it with Ziggler. So it's not that hard. Have him have a long reign, and Rollins can go into something else. He can move on to a bigger feud. Maybe Brock Lesnar, maybe Universal Championship after Reigns wins it. Maybe something with Braun Strowman if he cashes in and wins it too. So, as for the match, I think it'll be pretty fantastic. How many falls? I mean, it is only 30 minutes. So they're probably going to have like I don't know if you mentioned this, Griff, but they're probably going to have like a quick fall, like maybe like in the first 4 or 5 minutes, which is kind of funny because usually these matches don't end that quick, but suddenly when you have an Iron Man match, just to rack up the pinfalls, they'll have
in the first even 2 to 3 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, sometimes you'll have like some guy get pinned with a signature move, which never pins anyone. So actually, speaking of signature moves, I wouldn't be surprised if Rollins actually pins Ziggler with the Falcon Arrow, which he never actually gets a pin. But the fans, the stupid fans, who will chant "This is awesome" at every second, they always get up out of their seats and they're like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be the end of the match." I'm like, it's a Falcon Arrow. When has it ever finished a match? But this actually might be the case, and that's just gonna help perpetuate that kind of behavior again with the fans. But yeah, I mean, not really much to say. Not because I actually don't like the match. I'm actually looking forward to it. But I think Ziggler will win. I think he'll get the assist by Drew, probably for one of the falls, maybe the last one. But I could see a situation like what Griff said, where Drew helps Ziggler kind of like maybe tie it up after Ziggler gets the first pinfall or something like that. And then the last, Ziggler just gets on his own, but because Drew kind of interfered before, they'll kind of play it off as, okay, that interference did make a difference in this next fall as well. So it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that clean of a pinfall, even if Ziggler gets one more after Drew helps Ziggler get the first one. So probably like a 2-1 Iron Man match. I think that's what it's going to be like. Moving on from that, we have Carmella versus Asuka. So this one's a little bit interesting, only because, so kind of like talking about Nakamura, I was like, okay, he has to win, and I have full confidence, which may be stupid again because it's WWE, but I have full confidence because of the booking pattern that Nakamura is going to actually get the title now. With Asuka, you would think it's the same thing. They've kind of debuted around the same time, and they've had the kind of same parallel booking, right? They won the Royal Rumble. They both lost at WrestleMania. They both kind of like flounder around a little bit here and there. And they've lost a lot of momentum. So thank you, Vince McMahon. 2 Japanese megastars that were perfectly booked and has so much potential just got ruined. But anyways, with Asuka, I can see it kind of being another freaking stupid finish, where Asuka doesn't actually get the win. Because this may be stupid, this may be a trivial little hunch I have over here, but maybe I feel that way because I don't see Vince giving the go-ahead for 2 Japanese stars to win the titles on the same night. Because I thought it was going to happen in WrestleMania, not necessarily with Asuka. I actually saw maybe Charlotte actually getting the win. Actually, Charlotte and Asuka's on WWE Network right now. See, with Charlotte, it's kind of like hard to bet against her, right? Because she is really pushed hard. And, I'm not saying that's undeserved because Charlotte is really good. But it wasn't that surprising when Charlotte won because I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see them completely doing that with Charlotte to get her to be the one to beat Asuka, right? But you know what? I'm just going to put aside my cynicism and my skepticism with the WWE. I'm going to go, in this case, because it's a little bit wishy-washy, I'm going to say Asuka wins. Because, again, I feel like she has to win. And the WWE would be very stupid if, after all the damage they've done with Asuka, to not give her the belt. It made sense the first time to have Carmella retain, but she cannot retain again. Have Asuka win. I love Carmella, but Asuka needs this win. So, Griff, take it away.
Within doing so right now, they're just showing a bunch of women's evolution matches right now. They showed Lita and Trish, and then Charlotte, Asuka, which honestly, in the little snippets they've shown, the match was pretty good. I don't remember it that well because I feel like you with being at a pay-per-view, you gotta rewatch the matches back to get the fullest perspective of, which I do want to do with Mania 34. But even right now, the only thing that's ruining the end of the match is the Smarks, who are in the front row, who are overselling the reactions, oh my god, she lost. It was shock value, but it wasn't Taker shock value.
In this case, it was with Asuka tapping out to Charlotte. I can give a pass to that. At least it was something that was not so obvious to happen, right? It's just stupid when they have those overreactions when, for example, again with the "This is awesome" and all that crap, where it's on autopilot, right? They have to react because they feel like that's what they want. WWE wants them to do. With this one, at least it made sense. It was Charlotte making Asuka tap out. So.
And if you want to see us podcast while watching WrestleMania 34 for 5 hours, let us know. We may just review the show instead one episode, but I don't feel like doing a 5-hour podcast. We'll just run out of stuff to talk about.
If anything, if we do that, we might as well make it a video podcast.
Or a live. We'd go live on YouTube where I'd get more... I'm going to fill you guys on something on the end, but it would get more views than a Nightmare 10 stream at night, even though this one would be at 3 o'clock in the morning. Just saying a random time. Me at 3 o'clock in the morning, get more views than Phil any time of the day. But anyway, on to Carmella versus Asuka.
Kind of like ECW.
I'll explain more.
Getting better ratings than TNA when ECW was at 2 a.m. on prime time.
Yes. I'll explain more about the whole Griff Phil thing afterwards. But Carmella versus Asuka, with one note missing about that Tishar failed to mention, is that James Ellsworth will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage.
Actually, I didn't know.
Which the match last time this happened was fucking horrible with Cass and Big Show, and you had Enzo suspended above the cage.
Oh shit, I forgot. I thought it was...
The match was so bad, it's easily to forget about.
With Paul Ellering, remember?
No, I was at Toronto, but no, you remember the one. And also Miz versus Mrs. commercial right now, which is on, which I honestly cannot wait to see. I'm very excited for the show.
I remember the Big Cass one is because I didn't actually watch that pay-per-view. But I did watch, obviously, the Toronto Paul Ellering pay-per-view because we were there live.
Yeah, SummerSlam last year had a lot of forgetful moments on it, to be honest. But
would you bang Maurice?
Not pregnant Maurice, but regular Maurice, yeah. But back to Carmella and Asuka. You know where I'm going with this.
You won.
Carmella's going to be ready for Asuka. Carmella's going to be the first woman to say, I beat Asuka twice, like she did Charlotte Flair. Carmella is your moonwalking, trash-talking princess of Staten Island of a champ. You want to keep this girl credible. Asuka will win a title eventually. You got something good with Carmella right now. Carmella, I was talking earlier about Alexa Bliss being that bitchy heel. You know what? Carmella comes out there, she talks the truth, she speaks her mind, she backs it up in the ring, and you know what? Ellsworth with her side, does it affect it? Somewhat. But you know what? She's making the best out of her character, and ever since she won, she's probably the one example of how Money in the Bank winning can change your career, especially for the women's stuff. Just because with Alexa Bliss, it's a little different than Carmella. Just because Carmella hadn't done anything in NXT, Alexa Bliss was really a proven champion when she won it. But Alexa, in the sense I mean with Carmella too, though, is that it really catapulted her to there. I would put Edge in that category, but when he won the title, he only held it for 3 weeks, and then Cena beat him again at the Royal Rumble for it. So it kind of counter.
It did make him an established main eventer though, because then he kept winning the title like not too long after. Like he had so many, because he actually never Edge never really had a lengthy reign. His longest reign was 105 days, and his second longest was his only reign, which was longer than a month, which was like 70 days. Every one of his like nine out of his like 11 titles for Edge was like a month long or 6 weeks long. So I mean, yeah, it was a short reign, but the first Money in the Bank cash in with Edge established him as a main eventer at least. So it was successful in that sense. Interesting note about, actually, just want to quickly say about the women's Money in the Bank, is that it had such a shitty start with James Ellsworth being the one to take it. But at least in terms of cashing in, so far it's had a good record because, like you said, Carmella actually benefited from cashing from Money in the Bank, which, you know, a lot of people were saying recently it hasn't been benefiting people, but Carmella benefited, and Alexa, even though she didn't need it, it was a solid cash in, and it's just making her a bigger star. So, I mean, kudos for WWE in a way to actually have a good record so far with the women's Money in the Bank. Hopefully next year is even better.
Exactly, but you know what? I'm going to keep my prediction with all that moonwalking trash talk and stuff because I think Carmella's going to win this match. I feel like, though, it's not going to be like last time where Ellsworth gets involved and then she gets a pin. I think this match, honestly, Ellsworth somehow escapes the shark cage and then gets involved in the match and causes a DQ, setting up something new for SummerSlam, giving an opponent, maybe returning Charlotte Flair, maybe you do a triple threat with all three women, which could be good, or maybe even give someone else a championship match, like, I don't know, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, someone like who I wanted to win Money in the Bank, but she didn't, but oh well. I mean, I'm going to keep Carmella in this. I'm going to say this probably will be, I think, before the steel cage match, but it probably won't be. Somewhere in the middle, Carmella's going to win. I'm going to say probably 9 to 11 minutes. I think is a fair route to talk about. But anyway, we got one more match to talk about tonight. Oh, sorry about that. Excuse me.
Which should be the main event.
Which should be the main event. This man has held the WWE Championship for a very long period of time, at least 200 days.
250-something days now.
My WWE Championship encyclopedia over here, my co-host TJ, with that fact. AJ Styles taking on Rusev Day. That was my best English impression, and it kind of winded me. But anyway, AJ Styles versus Rusev. At first I thought, you know what, this match, what can it be? It's a throwaway, because I feel like they're going to be giving AJ Joe probably for SummerSlam, which I'm stoked for, and Hell in a Cell. But you know what? I think AJ's going to win because there's all those reports about giving him a credible run. But you know what? This finally shows, too, that a little stupid saying goes a far way. It's the New Day effect. Look, Rusev Day was just a cute little gimmick at first, which, like, when it, I don't mean cute, but I mean cute in the sense of he came out, he said his thing, but then it caught on with the WWE Universe, and everyone loves it now. Lana Day is something I find a little stupid, and it's kind of like you're dragging on, you're kind of like
that was kind of
leaving.
It's kind of funny, though. It's kind of catchy. It's like, Lana is the best. Lana, what is it?
Lana is the best.
Lana number one.
Clap, clap. But no, I mean in the sense with Lana Day, like, it's his own thing, it's cute, but like at the same time too, Rusev Day will always be bigger.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, it's good that Rusev's finally getting some recognition for this. It's not like
it's his first attempt at the WWE title.
Which it's great for him too, because he's really proven himself too. And I feel like him doing this instead of being that whole tough guy mentality is good for him too, because it makes him flexible. Because look, he is the heel going into this feud, but at the same time too, he what's it called? He, too, is going to show that he can work in a main event caliber match. I'm going with AJ to win, but you know what? It's good on Rusev. It's great on Rusev to get this win. But anyway, guys, I'm going to give it to TJ, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up, and we're going to talk about some plans we got coming up, because next week's a big week in wrestling, especially for the two of us.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even care to put a timer on this podcast. Like, it can go over an hour, it can go an hour and 30 minutes. I don't mind, because, I mean, sometimes you just got to have fun, right? Who cares? Like, people who listen to us don't care if we go another extra 15, 20 minutes. But with... before I get into the match, we have WWE Storytime on right now on the network, and I have one question. So is this anything like? I'm guessing this is not Camp WWE, of course, right?
This is WWE
So-
story time.
so
I
this
believe
is like
it's
the
where
kid-
they basically tell just weird stories from their past and stuff. And this is, I think it's Corey Graves in Japan.
Yeah, it's Corey Graves, which he looks a lot tanner than he. They made him a lot tanner than he actually is in real life.
Yeah, and they
It's
really
kinda
did
funny.
a bad job at drawing his tattoos.
Yeah. I guess story time is from what I've seen so far, which is not much. Seems like the kid version of Camp WWE because Camp WWE I know was adult oriented. Apparently not that funny, but I'll check it out. I'll make my own decision about that. So AJ Styles versus Rusev. Now with AJ's reign, I know he was going into Money in the Bank as champion for 222 days. And how many weeks did we have build up for this? 4 weeks, right? Since Money in the Bank.
Yes, about 4 weeks.
So add 28 days to 222. That gives you 250. No. 250 days. Yeah, because he won it on a Tuesday. I remember on SmackDown. So he's going to be champion for exactly 250 days on Sunday when he defends the championship. So I guess I was exactly right. I just said 250 because I know it was 222 at Money in the Bank. But yeah, it's going to be exactly 250 days. Now, one question actually, I mean, I'll let Griff address this too, is that one good thing, even though I didn't want Brock Lesnar to be champion as long as he has, is that this is the first time we've had two world champions be consistently, like at the same, I guess simultaneously is the right word, simultaneous reigns that were actually long, because 250 days for AJ Styles, 450 something, probably approaching 460 for Brock Lesnar. So I guess it's kind of good, right? Because people complain that the world titles or just titles in general are hot potato too much. At least now we're getting proper reigns with the world titles. And what's even more interesting than that, which is what I was building up to, is that now that they've had Brock Lesnar so-called beat Punk's record, I don't really care much about that because, again, it was only the sixth longest reigning champion of all time. The top five were actually not. I mean, Punk was not in the top five. He was actually number 6. I know it's a modern era, and no one's ever going to beat the 1,000-day reigns, which was number 5 was Pedro Morales with 1,000 something days. You never know though. Now that they've done, I mean, by the time Brock Lesnar loses the title, it's going to be like 500 something days. So never put it past them. They may actually just have someone be champion for 1,000 days now. They can actually do it and get away with. But I was talking to a couple people, and I agree. I mean, if you are going to take this reign of Punk so seriously and act like it really matters as a record, AJ Styles is the one to beat it. I mean, he's someone that fans are not going to turn on for beating Punk's record, because if Roman did it, if anyone did it, even like I feel like even someone like Finn Balor or someone who's actually pretty well liked did it, CM Punk fanboys especially, with how zealous they are, would shit on it. But AJ Styles is the one to do it. So have AJ beat the record. I don't care. I mean, have him beat Rusev. I don't know what they plan on doing with him at SummerSlam. But Joe. Actually, that's a good point. So maybe they're not gonna have him beat Punk's record because Joe has kind of been floundering around on the main roster too, and is gonna get to the point where he kind of just needs to win the title. So they may just have AJ beat him at SummerSlam, but then in the rematch, Joe wins at Night of Champions or whatever the September pay-per-view is. So
I think it may be Hell in a Cell.
It might be Hell in a Cell, yeah. So because I know they keep changing the months for these pay-per-views. I mean, TLC went from December to October, and then September, and then Clash of Champions moved from like September to December and all this stuff. So, anyways, whichever the September pay-per-view is, I think Joe might actually win it. This match, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be. I don't know if you guys heard me from the back, but I was mentioning to Griff that this is Rusev's actually first attempt at winning the WWE title. He hasn't had a match, even on Raw, even on SmackDown, for the WWE title. So I'm glad he's getting it. They're finally giving it to the fans. I know a lot of people are just going to be happy the fact that they at least gave him a main event, sort of main event, quasi main event a match. He doesn't have to win the title. As long as Rusev Day was recognized for his popularity and he got the push and he lost to AJ Styles, it's fine. So I think AJ Styles is going to win this. That's pretty safe to say. And then, yeah, I mean, I think this match should close the show, and AJ and Rusev are going to deliver us a fun match. It's very hard. AJ Styles can have a good match with anyone. And, I mean, I don't know the build-up about this match. I haven't really been following main roster shows much. Yeah, AJ Styles wins, and it's going to be a fun match. I mean, that's really all I have to say about this one. What about you, Griff?
I actually already said that AJ was going to win, but I just want to give my closing thoughts. Basically, I'm going to go into this pay-per-view with an open mind because I also think, too, that the show could suck. But at the same time, too, every time I think that happens, they wow me. So, you know what, WWE? Wow me this Sunday. Well, do something that I'm not going to expect to happen. Do something good. Have the matches be good. Book them right. Book the finishes right. No dumb finishes. And also, too, I'm going to give you a time that I want you to answer quickly. Over or under 11:30 p.m. finish for the pay-per-view? I think it's going to go under 11:30, but I could see it ending around 11:15, 11:20 is my safe bet. Which the sooner it ends, the better it ends, because the next day, you, me, Slakester, we have a drive. We have a drive of an hour and a bit to Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, as I like to call it, for Monday Night Raw at the KeyBank Center. The three of us are going. If you see us there, say hi. If you wanna, we take pictures. It's $5 a picture. No, I'm just kidding. I've never been asked for a photo. If I do, I'll be floored. But and then not in a bad way, but in a good way. But yeah, so if you see us, come say hi. We don't bite. We're in section 118, which I believe is we're camera side, but we're a section over from camera side. But you know what? When you're at a WWE show, you always have a fun time no matter where you sit. But also, the one thing I wanted to point out was I saw this in a YouTube video recently from someone who does Day in the Life. So I forget the kid's name. But he basically said, I feel nervous going into a WWE event. When I do that, I don't ever see as nervous, but it's like you kind of get like an excited nervousness when like you're leading up to the event because you're excited to go. The people you're going with are good. Like you're going with a good crew. There's many factors into it, but I just always find that too with WWE events. Not like where you're like nervous, but kind of like where you're excited to go to the show. You always get that kid mentality of I'm going to watch WWE because there's no real comparisons to being at home and watching it on your television to going to the shows live. Like we'll experience the same thing again when we go to the shows in Toronto and later in August after SummerSlam, but honestly, I'm excited for the show too because I feel like they're going to make hopefully some good announcements leading up to SummerSlam. The one so far has been Sasha and Bayley's friendship counseling meeting with Kurt Angle. But anyway, we got that, and we got Slammiversary 2 next Sunday at Rebel. Next week, quick Extreme Rules wrap-up, quick Raw thoughts on the day 2 in Buffalo. Day in the Lives will be coming out by me. I assume Slakester's doing one. I have to talk to him about that. I know I definitely will be because I want to do one. But then Slammiversary next week, we are all things Impact Wrestling, a show we're very excited for. Front row, we can't wait. I'm going to give it to TJ for the final thoughts. Then we're going to wrap this up. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Oh, man. What a time to be a wrestling fan. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan, especially us. No Holds Barred. The network's on. Podcasting. It's been fun. But anyway, TJ, what are your thoughts on everything with Extreme Rules, Raw, and quick Slammiversary thoughts? And next week's show, we're going to be marks. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the one thing about going to live shows, and maybe this doesn't apply to everyone, but it does apply to me, is that I never have a bad time at a live show because it's live. So no matter how bad it is on TV, the good thing is I'm still going to have fun because I'm going to be in Buffalo, which is always nice to visit. It's not exactly the greatest city. I know a lot of people don't think it's all that, but it's always fun. You're going away for a little bit, even if it's only an hour away. And actually, I wanted to mention, so Griff didn't mention this, but I guess he wanted me to mention this. I'm actually going to be doing an autograph signing outside of Tops in Buffalo because I'm going to be shooting a rap music video, and Griffith's going to be recording it for me. I am trying to become a rapper, not because of Enzo Amore or anything like that. I've actually been a rapper. I've always had the talent. I've just never taken full advantage of it. So why not? You know, you only live once, right? So I'm going to be rapping outside of the Tops.
On Niagara Falls Boulevard in Niagara Falls, New York, between the hours of 2:30 to 4. After we also will be at the Outlet Mall that day for an autograph signing. And if you want to come eat lunch with us, we'll be at El Cubalitre. I believe that's the right name. I may have butchered it. Cubalite. El Cubalite. We'll be eating some good Mexican food there before the show. It sounds weird, Mexican food in Buffalo, New York, but you know what? I've been there twice. It is some of the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life. And when we go eat it, you can come join us if you want to. Maximum 10 people, but you know what? Meal is on... You know what? Meal will be on Slakester. Slakester will be paying for everyone's meals, and one lucky person will be able to buy a new pair of Jordans from him.
Yep. Oh, by the way, so for the rapper name, if you guys are wondering, my rapper name is T Wizzy. So at first I was thinking maybe TJ Wizzy, but no, T Wizzy sounds better. So T Wizzy will be rapping outside of Tops. And regarding Slammiversary, I'm actually glad Griff said that he's very excited for Slammiversary. I mean, I know he would be because if you're going there, you want to have a positive attitude about it. You're not going to pay 175 Canadian. I know it was something in US dollars. It was like 125 or something, or maybe a little bit more. But Canadian was 175, so it's not that bad, but it's not exactly cheap either. So we want to have a good attitude. I mean, I'm a TNA soldier. I say that kind of jokingly. I mean, I don't really watch it that much, but I mean, I try to give it a shot. You know, like I've talked about in previous podcasts. Competition is competition. I know it's a dead brand. It's really a joke at this point, TNA, but you never know, right? ROH at one point was never considered or never forecasted to be what it is today. So I think TNA can revive themselves. I think it's going to be a good show. D'Angelo Williams made a return to Impact Wrestling, and he's going to be facing someone at Slammiversary. I'm not sure, but he's going to be facing someone. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I was thinking about maybe buying some shirts that say TNA Soldier or Soldier. Let's be clear, not Soldier, because we got to be hip. Or maybe just make our own shirts like the B Team or something and then go there. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really wanted to say. And yeah, just make sure to be outside of the Tops so I can sell you my rap CD, because it's gonna be off the hook. It's gonna be, as they say, I don't know. I'm not exactly that hip, I guess. What do what would someone very cool and with a lot of swagger say? It's very fire.
Yo fam, lit, or to quote Becky, yo, it be straight fire.
Yeah, that's a good one. Straight fire. It's gonna be savage, man. Let me just put it that way.
Links for the Target, address for, actually not links, but address for the Target where we will be at. Tops, my bad. Tops at Target, they're in the same plaza, will be in the description box below, so if you want to come out for that, feel more than welcome to. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. If you made it all the way through, you're an MVP, and we appreciate you a lot. But thank you guys very much for listening. Like this podcast, subscribe to my channel, Road to 600, and also to touch on it, Team Griff versus Team Nightmare. If you're on Team Nightmare, you got a problem. Team Griff's the team to be on. YouTube feuds every Tuesday, but you know what? I'm going to go live whenever I want to, and I'll get more live stream views than that guy ever will. He's the OG. I'm kind of the rook, but you know what? Rookie beats the OG. But anyway, guys, enough of that. Enough of this. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see some stuff or see more stuff of us talking about stuff in the podcast, let us know. We got some great shows lined up coming up in the future. Some great guest hosts coming up, by the way, from the YWC. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you guys later. And you know what? Peace out and enjoy Extreme Rules. Bye for now.